Okay, today I don't have my Bluetooth in a hurry. I forgot to bring to the college. I hope my voice is clear, right?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our topic is addition of vectors. Okay, so vector algebra we have four topics: addition of vectors, scalar product of vectors, and vector product of vectors, and triple products. Okay, triple or multiple product of vectors. These are the four topics we have. And after that we will revise 3D geometry once and we'll teach 3D lines also. Both vector algebra and 3D geometry put together, they are very important part of both the mains and advanced preparation. And in first year itself one has to be thorough with these topics. The reason is in second year we are not going to use them in any other topic. For example, we use differentiation and application of derivatives which we are going to study. We will be using in second year integration, and we will be using in physics here and there in many places. Integration is keep coming, alright. But with these topics which are very independent topics where, like for example, maths and determinants we are not using in other lessons that much. Okay, so those which are independent topics in that year only should be very strong. Okay, because again we will only in revision only will do it. And for me it is little difficult to start in the beginning vectors, because in physics you already learned something and used it. Okay, so it is almost same, not much of a different. Alright, today you don't have to write much. I am also just taking your mains material. In the synopsis there are a lot of definitions. I will be just simply talking about the definitions today. You may not write anything or may not do any questions. Okay. First of all, what is vector? In mathematics when you go a little higher level they define vector in some other way. Okay, it is called vector spaces. In fact, in BTech first year you will be studying. Okay. In fact, many of your seniors, super seniors, who are in IIT first semester now, they are sending some maths books what they are reading and what are the assignments and all that. They have all these topics. Matrix and determinant they have, and vector spaces something they have about. Anyway, so but here we talk about it at a very simple level. Like in physics, you talk about any physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction is called a vector. Of course, it's not just having magnitude and direction. That is not sufficient, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It should follow the laws of addition of vector.
Yeah, yeah. So we already decided on some laws and we should follow some that laws. Otherwise, like current, I think it has
Yes, sir.
direction, but I don't think it is not that if you have 5 amperes go like this, 5 amperes go like this, it is like 5 root 2 amperes going like this. It is not that way, right?
Yes, sir.
Then as you bend the wire, your current in that should change. Okay. But it is not that. Okay. I am sure you heard about tensors, right?
Introduction, sir.
Okay. There are some quantities in physics, they have magnitude and direction. But in different directions, they have different magnitudes. They are called tensors. Okay. At higher level, you will be studying that in physics also, in maths also. We have tensor calculus. And to deal with tensors, we will be talking about determinants when you want to multiply tensors and all that. Okay. At higher level, you will be studying. But in your level, there is one physical quantity you deal with, which is a tensor, is angular momentum. Okay, angular momentum is a tensor. Why? It has a direction, but depending on which axis you take, your moment of inertia changes, and thereby your angular momentum also changes. Right? Okay, that those quantities are called tensor. You heard of the word tensor before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, right now don't worry about tensor. Any quantity which has a magnitude and direction we will call vector. We don't even talk about following laws and all that. Okay. Equal vectors. When can you say two vectors are equal?
When both the when both the magnitude and direction are equal.
Yeah. Vectors can be in different places. Okay. As long as all these are parallel and they are same magnitude, the length of this and the length of this and length of this are same, then they are equal vectors. If this is A bar and this is B bar and this is C bar, I can write A bar equal to B bar equal to C bar. And if the magnitude is 0, basically the starting point and ending point are at same place, we said it's a null vector. It doesn't have any direction basically. It's only magnitude is 0. Okay. Unit vector is a word we use it many times. Unit vector means it's a vector of magnitude 1 unit. In physics, you may have habit of writing it as like a cap, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever you write cap means it's a unit vector. In maths, we don't use the cap so much. In words, we may say it is unit vectors or something like that. But otherwise, unit vector means magnitude is 1 unit. Generally, you can represent a cap or b cap or c cap, things like that. There are like vectors and unlike vectors. If two vectors have same direction, they are called like vectors. And if they have opposite direction, they are called unlike vectors. If you take a vector a bar and if you multiply the positive number, okay, then the direction doesn't change, but its magnitude changes. For example, if somebody wants vary 7a bar, this length will be 7 times this, but in the same direction. Minus 8a bar, what about that will be?
Direction.
Opposite direction.
Opposite direction.
So if you take ka bar where k is a real number, this is a vector parallel to a bar. The magnitude of this is k times the magnitude of a bar, and the direction same as a bar if k is positive, and opposite to that if k is negative. If you take a bar and 7a bar and a bar and minus 3a bar, what is the angle between these two? A bar and 7a bar?
0 degrees.
A bar and 7a bar angle is 0 degrees, and a bar and minus 3a bar
180 degrees.
yes. No. Okay, now we cannot represent a point as a vector because it doesn't have any magnitude. But I want to specify the point. For example, in 2D geometry, if you want to tell where this point is, you will tell this x coordinate and you will tell this y coordinate. That tells you precisely where is that point. Instead of telling x and y, you can also tell what is this length and what is this angle. Okay? You can represent everything in the form of r and theta. If you want to tell position of a point, just tell from the distance to origin what is that, and the ray joining from origin to that point, what is the inclination of that in anti-clockwise direction. If you tell that, it is a specific point. I am sure in physics, you some place or other you will use r and theta notation. Yes sir?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, not that much. Okay. In higher level, you will be using it, r and theta. It is actually called polar coordinates. In intermediate earlier, before 2013, there used to be a chapter called polar coordinates. Okay, where every point will be in terms of r and theta, no x and y. Equation of line will be in terms of r and theta. Equation of circle, in equation of parabola, ellipse. You will have a whole geometry where all equations are in terms of r and theta. After all, x and y are what? To specify a point, some coordinates. You can also talk about r and theta also as coordinates. Alright. In the same way, if you want to represent any point using vector algebra, that is, you want to represent this point, but point cannot be written in vector form. So what to do? Join that to origin. OA bar is called position vector of point A. If there is a point B here, OB bar is called position vector of point B. Because a point cannot be represented as a vector, you join from origin, you go towards the point, that is called position vector of that. D is somewhere here, OD bar is position vector of that. Okay. So any point you want to specify, you generally mention in position vector form. Okay, I want to tell a little more about it, but let me talk about triangle law and parallelogram law and then come back to this. If I have two vectors a bar and b bar, or even like this a bar and b bar, the resultant or the sum a bar plus b bar is defined as, complete the parallelogram. this vector, the main diagonal passing through this up to here is called a bar plus b bar. It is defined like that. Okay. We don't have to ask why it is defined like that. You define like this, and wherever it is required, you may use it. Okay. Maybe in physics you can ask this question. You take a particle, you apply 30 newtons and 10 newtons. Okay. You can ask a question, why that the object will go in this direction only, okay, and why with this much force only acting. Whereas in maths you don't have to ask, because we are not telling any physical application. We say we define like that. In maths, in physics you cannot say I defined that the resultant of these two is this much. No, you cannot define. You really take an object, apply 30 newtons and 10 newtons, see in which direction it is going. I am sure it will go in this direction only. You understand what I am saying?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Does anybody in physics ask this question to your teacher, that you apply 30 newtons here, 10 newtons here, why the resultant force should act in this direction only?
Sir, that 10 Newton, okay, if we shift the vectors parallel to each other are equal, no sir, like we can shift 10 Newton to this side and it will form a right angle triangle, and
No,
like
not
that
right
we
angle.
can.
I am saying talk about any angle. Even if you shift here, again this plus this is this. What is the proof? It is just defined like that, na? Whereas in physics you cannot define like that. So now that you apply 30 newtons and 10 apply 10 newtons, it will go there. You have to prove it, right? And what if angle is not 90? Okay. The point is, just because teacher says something, don't accept it. I said this right in the beginning. Okay? It's not that whatever teacher says it's correct. Okay? It may be correct, but you should understand how it is correct also. So in any subject, math, physics, chemistry, you ask your teacher. In chemistry, sometimes they may say it is actually fact, just accept it. Okay? In maths, we say we define like that, just take it. In physics, you cannot say like that. Alright? By the way, just talking something in another class. For you, gravitation chapter is not yet started, right?
Yes, sir, not sir.
Sir.
Not started,
I
sir.
think they'll teach at the end, maybe. Okay. Can anybody in this class answer? If you take two masses in the space, they attract each other, right?
Yes,
What is the
sir.
cause of that attraction?
Gravitational force. The difference in their mass.
No. What is the
Distance
cause of
between them.
attraction between why two masses in the space attract each other? Very simple question I am asking. Why two
Sir, we will
masses
say
in the
gravity, and then you will say that it is not because of gravity, the property by which they attract is called gravity.
Okay. The thing is, nobody knows why they attract each other. Okay. In the nature, they are there like that from time immemorial. Alright. There is attraction between the two masses, that you recognized it. That phenomena you called gravitation. You understood?
Yes, sir.
It is not
Yes,
because
sir.
of gravitation. You know, it is you give a name to a phenomena and later on tell that itself is a cause of the phenomena. That itself is a very, what do you call, cheating. You understand, na? Okay. So the attraction between two masses is already there. Why it is there, we don't know. That attraction is called gravitation. It's not because of gravitation they are attracting each other. Right? Anyway, coming back to our topic. So I was talking about addition of vectors. In maths we just define. I define like this, that if we just take two vectors and take draw the parallelogram. This vector I define it as a bar plus b bar. My definition of a bar plus b bar is this. Okay, in maths we have that privilege to define. Okay. Okay, now almost same. We also have triangle law. If this is b bar, this is also b bar because they have same magnitude and direction. Right there you have triangle law there. Okay. If there is a vector a bar and there is a vector b bar, okay. If I want to add these two vectors, you take point of A bar, from there you start B bar, take the initial beginning point and final ending point and you join. Okay, from the initial starting, this is going like this is going like this. According to normal cyclic order, the third one should go like this, but we take the reverse order. Okay, so the third side taken in reverse order will give us A bar plus B bar. This is a triangle law, this is a parallelogram. Of course, triangle law has one more version to it. If there is a triangle and this is A bar and this is B bar and this is C bar, they are all in one proper direction. This is A bar, this is B bar and this is C bar. Then A bar plus B bar plus C bar equal to 0 bar.
Zero vector.
We don't write 0, we write 0 bar, null vector. Okay. This both carry same meaning. Where here this we are calling A bar plus B bar. If somebody take this direction, it should be minus of A plus B. So when you add to C, it should be 0. Okay, so parallelogram law and the two versions of triangle law. Okay, now what I am going to tell is a very simple thing, but we use all the time in vectors. Okay, let's say this is origin, this is A and this is B. This is OA bar, this is OB bar and this is AB bar. From triangle I can say this plus this is equal to this. So OA bar plus AB bar is equal to OB bar. Basically don't need a figure. The ending point of this and the starting point of this, if they are same, the final vector starts here and end here, which is OB bar. Okay. So OA plus AB is equal to OB. Send this OA bar that side, will get AB bar is equal to OB bar minus OA bar. So if you know position vector of A, OA bar is position vector of A and OB bar is position vector of B. Whenever you want AB bar, it is position vector of the second point minus position vector of the first point. It is not only O, let us say I have a P. Let us say this is P, this is A, this is B. I can take PA bar, PB bar, AB bar. From the figure I can write PA bar plus AB bar equal to PB bar. Send this one that side. You can write AB bar equal to PB minus PA. Okay. In the place of P I kept O, or you can keep any point, doesn't matter. Alright. So let us say some other CD bar I want. It is position vector of D minus position vector of C. Second point position vector minus first point position vector. Okay. We are going to use this repeatedly in so many places. Okay. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, almost like parallelogram law and triangle law, we have polygon law. What is this? If you have some lot of vectors like this is one vector, this is a beginning point and ending point. The second vector beginning point is the ending of the first vector. This is some A bar, this is some B bar, this is some B bar, this is some B bar. The B bar started where A bar ended, and the C bar started where B bar ended, and the D bar started where A bar ended. If you want to know a vector from here to here, from the beginning to the final ending there, that is sum of all these things. A bar plus B bar plus C bar plus D bar. One may say, how will you explain this? You said we will define only for two things, how will you explain for four things? Add these two, this will be A plus B. Now this plus this add, this will be A bar plus B bar plus C bar. And this plus this will be A plus B plus C plus D, which is A plus B plus C plus D. So use sum of two vectors repeatedly, you will get finally this polygon law. This is one polygon law where you added a lot of vectors, and from here to here is the sum of all this. Almost same. Okay, let us say this is A bar, this is B bar, this is C bar, this is D bar, this is E bar, and this is F bar. All are in one direction. Then the sum of them is 0. If they complete the polygon, A bar plus B bar plus C bar plus D bar plus E bar plus F bar is 0. Why? The same logic. If you take a vector like this, it should be sum of all these things from this to this. So F bar should be negative of A bar plus B bar plus C bar plus D bar plus E bar being this side. Like triangle law has two versions, polygon law also has two versions. Okay. If I take AB bar plus BC bar plus CD bar plus DE bar, what will come?
A bar.
AE bar. Yeah. You don't have to draw the figure and where is A, B, C, not required. This B and this B are same, so AB plus BC will be AC.
AC bar.
This C and this C are same, so AC plus CD is AD. If you want the figure, it is exactly A, B, C, D and E. AB bar plus BC bar plus CD bar plus DE bar is this vector, which is straight away AB plus BC plus CD plus DS straight away AE bar. Or whenever two things are same, forget about it, you get AC bar. When you take AC plus CD, you get AD bar. When you take AD plus DE, you get AE bar. Some formulas will resemble your 3D geometry or 2D geometry formulas, but we are going to see with the proof. What is that? Let us say I have a triangle. This is origin, this is A, this is B, this is midpoint M. Okay. I know position vector of this, I know position vector of this, I want to find position vector of this. OM bar formula is OA bar plus OB bar by 2. Similarly, if you take OAB, let us say I want to divide in the ratio 3:2. This is M, not the midpoint. Then OM bar, the position vector of M is 3 times OB bar, section formula, plus 2 times OA bar by 3 plus 2. Okay. Now, I want to tell the proof of this, but before that I want to ask you. Anybody want to give an idea how to prove this one? OM bar is OA plus OB by 2 when M is midpoint.
Sir,
Yes?
so if we join O and M there, we'll get two triangles, no sir? From that two triangles, if we follow triangle and equate OM bar, then we won't get. No, OM bar will get.
They are vectors.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, draw a line parallel to OB and passing through M, sir. And draw another line passing through M and parallel to OA. Then you should apply parallelogram law.
Yes, that's good. That's nice. We extend this parallelogram. We'll get one more diagonal. You know, in a why it is parallelogram? I constructed this parallel to this. I constructed this parallel to this. Diagonals bisect each other. Not only M is midpoint of these two, it is also midpoint of these two. And this is OA bar and this is OB bar. According to our definition of parallelogram law, this is OA plus OB. This should be half of that. So if we call this as C, you can say OM bar is OC bar by 2, which is OA plus OB by 2. That's good. There is another way I want to tell, but this is nice. Okay. But what about this? How will you prove the section formula here? 3 into this plus 2 into position vector of this by 3 plus 2. This formula is correct, but how will you prove it?
Sir, draw a line passing through M, sir. And parallel to those two sides, sir.
Okay.
Then we should apply parallelogram law, sir. Sir, if you draw, then I can say, sir.
Okay. This is one parallel to this. This is one parallel to this. This one is parallel to this. This one is parallel to this. This is O, A, B, M. Okay. You want to give some names P and Q. What do you want to say?
Sir, you can draw a line M. Yes, sir.
You want to give some names? I can give. This is some R. This is some S.
Sir, OS equals to 2 by 5 ON, sir.
Okay.
And OR equals to 3 by 5 OB. If we add those, we will get OM.
Yes, that's good. We can find this in terms of A and B, this in terms of A and B, and add them, we will get a quotient vector. By the proper ratio and proportion, you can do that. That's nice. Almost same, I want to write a simple way like this for this. Can I write AM bar by 3 same as MB bar by 2? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Because AM bar and MB bar in the same direction. AM bar when I divide with 3 it is like a unit vector, and MB bar when I divide with 2 it is like a unit vector, or at least the lengths are same. Okay, now these two have same lengths and same direction. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Even here parallelogram is good, but I can also write another way. Because M is midpoint, these two lengths are equal, straight away I can write AM bar equal to MB bar. AM bar I can write OM bar minus OA bar. MB bar I can write OB bar minus OM bar. I said quotient vector of second point minus quotient vector of first point. Here also quotient vector of second point minus quotient vector of first point. When you bring OM this side, 2 OM bar is OA plus OB. And when you divide with 2, OM bar is OA plus OB by 2.
Sir,
Same
second.
here, 2 times AM bar I can write OM minus OA. 3 times MB bar I can write OB minus OM. Do cross multiplication and bring one side. For example, you will get 2 OM minus 2 OA. Here 3 OB minus 3 OM. When you bring this 3 OM this side, you will get 5 OM bar. When you bring 3 OA this side, you get 3 OB bar plus 2 OA bar. Divided with 5, that is your section formula. 3 into OB bar plus 2 into OA bar by 5. I said you don't have to write, I am just explaining. Somebody wants to write, I will give a proper notes. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, please.
how that AM bar by 3 is equal to MB bar by 2?
Okay, there in the ratio 3 is to 2, let us call 3k and 2k are the lengths. AM bar by 3k is a vector of magnitude 1 unit in this direction. BM bar by 2k is also a vector of magnitude in the same direction. That's why they are equal. I can cancel k. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will write this once again properly, and at that time you want to copy, you can copy later on. Okay. We know in any triangle, sum of two sides is greater than third side, and difference of two sides will be less than third side. In the same way, if this vector is A bar and this vector is B bar and this vector is A bar plus B bar, this is also B bar, the length of this, okay, the sum of these two sides, this length plus this length, should be greater than this. And the difference should be less than this. So even based on the triangle only, you can say mod A bar plus B bar is less than or equal to mod A bar plus mod B bar. A side is less than sum of other two sides, and the difference of two sides, that is mod A bar minus mod B bar with a mod. Okay. You I'm sure use this in physics. On a particle, if two forces are acting, let's say 20 newtons and 10 newtons or 5 newtons, what is the maximum, and you can change the angle between them, what is the maximum resultant you can get and what is the minimum resultant you can get?
10 plus 5 and 10 minus 5.
Yeah, you add that is exactly this. Mod A bar is the magnitude of one force and mod B bar is magnitude of another force. The resultant magnitude will be maximum sum of the two things, minimum will be difference of the two things. But when this equality will happen, when this will be equal to this?
When theta equals to 0 degree.
When A bar and B bar are in the same direction, not just parallel, they are in the same direction. When this and this will be equal?
Opposite
When they
direction.
are in opposite direction. If the angle is, they are not in same, they are not in opposite direction, but some other angle like 10 degrees, 20, 90, 120 degrees. It will be between these two. Okay. So this inequality is simple. You can even call this a triangle inequality. Sum of two sides is greater than third side. Difference of two sides is less than the third side. Right? And from here to here equality will happen when a bar and b bar are same direction. From here to here equality will happen when a bar and b bar are in the opposite direction. Replace b bar with minus b bar everywhere. Wherever b bar is there, write minus b bar. We will get mod a bar minus b bar is less than mod a bar plus mod b bar. Greater than equal to mod a minus b is also mod b only. Okay. So replace b bar with minus b bar, will get this. So even difference of the two vectors magnitude will be less than the sum of the two individual magnitudes and more. But here from here to here equality will happen when a and b are in the opposite direction, and from here to here equality will happen when a bar and b bar in the same direction. And the way of saying is from here to here equality will happen when a and minus b are in the same direction, and from here to here equality will happen when a and minus b are in the opposite direction. Is it okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Whenever a vector a bar is there, sometimes they will ask find a vector parallel to this having unit magnitude. Find a vector parallel to this having 5 units magnitude, like that. Okay. If you want unit vector, you just divide its own magnitude. A bar by magnitude of a bar, okay, will be a cap, a unit vector in the direction of a bar. Because I don't know what is the a bar magnitude, so if I divide with it, then it will be unit vector. If somebody says find a vector of magnitude 5 units, but in the direction of a bar, what will be the answer?
5a cap.
Yeah, 5a cap. So if you want magnitude 5 units, you can take 5a cap or 5 into a bar by mod a bar. If you want a vector of magnitude k units, it will be k a cap or k into a bar by mod a bar. Unit vector means divided with the magnitude. If you want a vector magnitude k means after finding unit vector multiply with k. Okay, vectors, they addition, they follow commutative law, associative law and all that. Okay. I think commutative law, I don't have to even prove it. A bar plus b bar is same as b bar plus a bar. But associative law, I want to prove it. Okay. You take this is a bar and this is b bar and this is c bar. Same here I will write here also. This is a bar and this is b bar and this is c bar. Here I will add these two vectors first and then add this. I will get this vector. Here I will add these two vectors.